Starship Troopers is a science fiction novel by Robert A. Heinlein, first published in 1959. The story follows Juan Johnny Rico, a young man from the Philippines, from a wealthy family who joins the mobile infantry, and in his coming-of-age story, he goes through brutal training, learns teamwork, responsibility, courage, and sacrifice, and then he is inducted to the mobile infantry and goes through a massive interstellar war against the Bugs, an alien species that humanity sees as the prime enemy from the stars. The mobile infantry are not ordinary soldiers as depicted in the movie. They wear powerful armored suits that let them leap across battlefields with jetpacks and carry powerful weapons, including tactical nuclear weapons. Through Rico's experiences, the story spends just as much time talking about the ideas of the entire thing as it does showing battles. The war against the Bugs provides the action and danger, but the real heart of the novel is Rico's growth as a person and Heinlein's exploration of citizenship and civic duty. The novel is really less about defeating arachnids, which are actually quite different in nature and formed from the ones seen in the movies, and yet the story is more about exploring ideas of responsibility, discipline, honor, service, and the relationship between individual freedom and the good of the community. But anyway, here in this video we will push aside the deeper themes of the story and actually look at the Bugs, the enemies of mankind here. They're not dumb animals from the movies, there's something entirely different. Let's get to it. So we begin here to see their true nature during the attack on Buenos Aires, which is the moment that turns a tense and growing conflict into a full-scale war between humanity and the Pseudo-Arachnids. But this is portrayed quite differently in the novel than what was shown in the movie. See, in the novel, the war didn't suddenly begin with a sudden shocking attack. According to Rico, there had already been years of border clashes, military patrol raids, and violent incidents between humans and these Bugs, which creates the feeling of two powerful civilizations slowly drifting towards an inevitable war. The destruction of Buenos Aires is tragic and personal, especially because Rico's mother is killed there, but it is only one event in a much larger conflict already unfolding across space. The Bugs of the novel are not giant animals hurling rocks through space. They are a technologically advanced, starfaring species with ships, weapons, and military forces of their own. Here in the novel, the attack was actually perpetrated by the Bugs using their starships, which launched what could only be termed as nukes of their own on the city of Buenos Aires after they arrived in orbit around Earth. In contrast, the 1997 film presents the attack very differently. It was shown as a sudden and dramatic flashpoint that instantly unites humanity in anger and fear. Here we see a massive asteroid supposedly launched from the Bug homeworld of Klendathu. It streaks across space and slams directly into Earth, obliterating Buenos Aires in a fiery catastrophe that kills millions. For us movie-goers, it becomes humanity's Remember This Moment event, the spark that transforms an unheeded alien threat into a crusade for blood and vengeance. However, due to the movie's satirical take on the story as a whole, the Buenos Aires attack could also have been a false flag event, an operation that was used in order to launch an invasion of the distant interstellar system of the Bugs. It was also somewhat unbelievable that the Arachnids could have sent an asteroid across the width of an entire galaxy, tens of thousands of light years across, with pinpoint accuracy to hit Earth in a matter of a few months or maybe years. The speed doesn't add up, the math doesn't add up, and nothing really adds up actually. But I'm not a Xenos lover here, so I'd go with the propaganda. I mean, the official information that was given, and that the Bugs attacked Buenos Aires. Anyway, here in the novel, the aliens are called Pseudo-Arachnids, but they are simply called Bugs by the mobile infantry. They are a vast, intelligent, and highly organized civilization that rivals humanity itself. While they resemble enormous spider-like or insect-like creatures, the Bugs are not mindless monsters driven by only instinct. They possess advanced technology, they build cities and colonies, they even operate starships and function as a true society spread across multiple worlds. Their civilization is often compared to an ant or a termite colony, but highly advanced, with different castes performing specialized roles. There are worker Bugs, warrior Bugs, and the highly important ruling castes that direct the actions of the whole species. Individual Bugs seem far less important than the collective, and they willingly sacrifice themselves without hesitation if it benefits the colony. Throughout the novel, the Bugs remain mysterious and alien, and the war between humans and Bugs is therefore not a simple struggle against savage creatures, but a clash between two very different intelligent civilizations that view the universe, society, and even the value of individual life in completely different ways. Here, the Pseudo-Arachnids are not the towering animalistic monsters seen in the films, but strange and unsettling alien soldiers that look, in Rico's words, like a madman's conception of a giant intelligent spider. Imagine a creature with multiple legs supporting a hot armored body, yet also possessing a somewhat upright human-like torso and a pair of manipulative limbs that functions almost like hands and arms. These hands are important because the bugs in the novel do not simply charge into battle with claws and teeth, as they carry and operate advanced weaponry. They are tool users. They are engineers and soldiers belonging to a technologically advanced civilization, and they can supposedly see in the infrared vision or spectrum, which allows them to navigate underground. Yet despite being intelligent and really fearsome, individual arachnid warriors are less formidable than a single mobile infantry trooper, and the reason is probably because of the incredible power armor of the human soldiers, the mobile infantry, while the bugs are used almost like cannon fodder. So imagine the Imperial Guardsmen of Warhammer 40k. They're sent in droves, but with weapons, and so the bugs here are kinda like those. But they are still completely outmatched by the mobile infantry, because the mobile infantry are like space marines. Anyway, if you know, you know. This is one of the biggest differences between the novel and the film versions. In Heinlein's novel, the Pseudo-Arachnids are a true technological civilization. They build cities, they travel through space, use weapons, and wage war much like humans do. A warrior bug is not merely an animal attacking on instinct. It is a member of an intelligent species capable of operating equipment and participating in a sophisticated military system. The conflict is essentially a war between two spacefaring civilizations. In the movie Starship Troopers, however, director Paul Verhoeven deliberately transformed the arachnids into something much more primal and alien. This civilization functions like a gigantic insect colony with different castes, evolving specialized bodies for different tasks. Unlike the novel's bugs, most of these creatures possess little individual intelligence, and they operate more like cells in a larger organism than independent beings. The entire civilization is based on evolved biological functions, with every caste acting as a living tool designed by evolution to perform a specific role. The film thus presents them as a terrifying swarm species, while the novel does add in the swarm element of feeling, but with an even greater threat of advanced technology to back them up. Heinlein repeatedly emphasizes that humanity is fighting an intelligent enemy, summed up by the often cited idea that stupid races don't build spaceships. The society seems to operate on principles very different from those of humans, but there is no indication that they are intellectually inferior. In fact, their ability to coordinate vast populations and sustain a galaxy-spanning war effort suggests an extremely advanced civilization. The highest castes, often referred to as brain bugs, are especially intriguing because they appear to combine biological and technological elements. Some descriptions suggest the presence of cybernetic enhancements of communication systems or integrated technological components that allow the leaders to process information and direct entire colonies with extraordinary efficiency. While Heinlein never fully explains the exact nature of bug technology, whether they are biological or technological, the implication is that they possess a sophisticated industrial and scientific base, capable of producing spacecraft, starships, weapons, infrastructure, and military equipment on a colossal scale. Unlike the film's bugs, who have largely biological adaptations evolved into specialized castes, the novel's Pseudo-Arachnids resemble a genuine advanced alien civilization. Their society and how they exist is built around the needs of the colony rather than the individual. In a way, this is quite similar to how the movie portrayed them. While human society values personal freedom, ambition, and individual achievements, the bug society appears to value only the survival and the success of the collective. Much like ants or termites on Earth, every bug is born into a specific caste and performs a specific role. Their society is not chaotic or primitive, it is a highly organized and efficient machine, and they can build or sustain cities, industries, starships, and interstellar wars. Now at the foundation of every colony is the queen, the mother of the colony, and the source of the population. Her primary role is reproduction, continuously producing the workers, warriors, and other members which are needed to sustain the colony. Directing the colony is the brain bug, the mysterious ruling caste. The brain acts like a strategist, a coordinator, and a leader, maintaining what appears to be a telepathic connection to the rest of the colony. Unlike other swarm species of different sci-fi universes, the queen is not the leader. Here, the brain bug is the leader. The novel hints that a colony and its brain exists in a symbiotic relationship, with the brain functioning almost like the central nervous system of a living organism, a superorganism. If the brain dies, the colony may become disorganized and even collapse. Now, the warriors are the military arm of the colony. These are soldiers that human troops most often encounter in combat. These are not mindless beasts, but they are armed combatants capable of using advanced weapons like beam guns and plasma weapons. To human soldiers, they often appear less like living creatures and more like expendable ammunition being fired by the colony itself, which shows that even if they are advanced and highly intelligent, the bugs still are a swarm species, kinda like the movie's depiction, but with technology. And then these soldiers are sent as cannon fodder to destroy whatever is attacking them, but then to die in droves because every individual life of a warrior is but meaningless. And finally, the last caste are the worker bugs. These are the laborers who keep the colony functioning. They excavate, they maintain infrastructure, operate facilities, and perform the countless tasks necessary to support the bug civilization. They're very similar to warriors, but mentally they are completely different. They're not fighters, and they usually attempt to flee when danger appears. In one notable example, enormous numbers of workers were deliberately sacrificed as a distraction, which allowed the warrior bugs to prepare an ambush elsewhere, which means the worker bugs are the lowest caste, and the warriors come on top of them, and then the queen, and then the brain bug. So these four castes form a highly efficient superorganism. The queen creates life, the brain directs it, the worker sustains it, and the warriors defend it. Now in the book, there's also another alien race known as the Skinnies. They are a separate alien species that sit awkwardly between humanity and the Pseudo-Arachnids. Physically, they are described as tall, thin humanoid beings with very slim bodies, hence the name Skinnies. At the very start of the conflict, the Skinnies are aligned with the Pseudo-Arachnids, but their relationship is seen as more like a harsh, unequal arrangement where the bugs act like the dominant power, the rulers, and the Skinnies behave more like a weaker client or vassal species. As the war between humans and bugs intensifies, human forces begin to raid Skinny worlds, and over time the Skinnies start to shift their loyalty. They begin sharing intelligence about the Arachnids with the Terran Federation, helping humanity understand the bug behavior, territory, and weaknesses. This information becomes useful in Federation military operations, which suggests that the Skinnies are pragmatic and they don't really like the bugs, and they're willing to change sides when the balance of power shifts. But the main point that I'm trying to make here is that the bugs aren't a completely xenophobic or a genocidal alien race. They do conquer, but at the same time they will allow other species to exist, but as their subordinates and vassals, existing under their domination. So in the end, what I'm trying to say is that the original Arachnids, or the Pseudo-Arachnids from the novels, are very unlike the ones seen in the movies. They're less like the Zergs of StarCraft or the Tyranids of 40k. They're not a hive species that do not use technology. They're more like a mix between biological and technological swarm species, more like the Arachni from Mass Effect, or maybe even the Formix from Ender's Game, or maybe the Locust of Gears of War. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the bugs or the Pseudo-Arachnids from Heinlein's novel and what they truly are. Now with that, we come to the end of the video. Do hit that like button for support, and also click that bell button for regular updates on new video uploads here in this channel. Also subscribe to be a part of Legion Nutbug, and till the next time, take care, boys.